Hey everyone, welcome back to another online IELTS lesson. Today's lesson will be on reading, and we're going to talk about one of the types of questions, which is matching names. So let's get started. First off, about the skills you need to deal with this type of question. The matching names question types usually test your ability to scan the text for names and recognize synonyms and paraphrasing. Also, to use the context to guess the meaning. And these kind of questions also require you to recognize at least one of the following, such as an expression of opinion, a theory, or research findings. The task for name matching questions, you have to match a list of people's names to a list of statements using the information in the text to make the correct matches. We'll have a look at the example, but the sample later on the next pages. And the names will normally be of researchers, experts, and scientists. The statements will normally be research findings, theories, years, and places. Next up, matching name section can be difficult because the answers are not in order in the passage. So the answer could be all over the text, and you always have to go back and forth to find the answer. Next, one name may be used for more than one answer. So you can, as you know, that there are lots of information in the text, and according to the statements, several statements could be matched to one name in the text. That also makes the matching names question difficult. Next, some of the names may not be needed. So this is also one of the difficulties. There's a list of names, but some of the names in the list may not be used at all. There might not be any information about a name in the text at all. And what are our techniques to deal with these kind of question? First thing we need to do is to underline keywords in each statement. Next, we scan the passage to find all the names in the text. And once we find names, we need to highlight each name clearly. For example, we can circle them. And also, even if the name is repeated many times in the text, you have to circle it. You have to circle every name you find in the text, because it saves your time once you're dealing with the information. Number 3, choose the name with the shortest description. So in some of the texts, the information about one name could even contain the whole paragraph, and your job is to choose the shortest description, because it saves your time. After you choose the description, you have to read the sentences around that name, and you will underline the main ideas relating to that name. Technique number 4, compare with all of the question statements. After you find the information in the text, you have to compare it with all of the question statements. And then you go through the question statements to see if any of them match what you read. So here is an example of a matching name question from an actual reading task. Here you can see it says the questions from 14 to 17. Look at the following ideas in the list of researchers below. Match idea with the correct researchers, A, B, or C. Write the correct letter on your answer sheet. You may use any letter more than once. So here is the list of statements, and below in the box we have the list of names. Alright, now let's move on to the next page. Here we have the actual IELTS reading text on matching names. Now we're going to deal with these tasks, with these reading text according to the technique we have seen earlier. We will do everything step by step to choose the correct answer for each question. So if you're ready, let's begin. The first thing we need to do is, as we saw in the technique section, we need to underline the keywords in the statements. So here are the statements. Let's take a look at statement number 1. The importance of yoga in decreasing the main hormone linked to stress. Number 2. The advantage of yoga compared to relaxation in decreasing stress and anxiety. Number 3. The significance of yoga in relation to existing cases of heart disease. Number 4. The connection between practicing yoga and improvements in the circulatory system. So after we underline the keywords in the statements, the next thing we need to do is to search for the names, to look for the names in the text and highlight them. Let's have a look. Let's just skim, we actually need to scan the text to find the names. Let's scan the text and find the names and highlight them. As I said earlier, I usually circle the names to highlight. So if we start from the beginning, the term yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yuji, meaning yoke or union. Yoga is said to have a number of studies have looked at the effect of yoga on stress. Research carried out in 2005 by Andres Mikkelsen. Here is the name. So I'm actually scanning the text. You can do it yourself as well while watching this video. He's found another name, which is Caroline Smith. The word Smith is repeated here again. Here we have another name, Vijay Bharshankar. Dr. J. Yogendra or Yogendra. I think that's it. That's all I found in the reading text. So the next thing we need to do, according to our technique we've seen earlier, is to start with the name that has small information, that has less information. But this text is actually a small text, and I don't think that there is a lot of information on a particular name here. That's why we can actually start from the beginning, from the first name, which was Andreas Mikkelsen right here. Let's read the information around this name and try to underline the keywords. We can start from here. Research carried out in 2005 by Andreas Mikkelsen of the University of Duisburg, Essen in Germany, followed 24 women suffering from emotional distress on a 3-month yoga program. Findings showed, so these are the findings from Andreas Mikkelsen, showed a significant reduction in their levels of cortisol, which is the primary stress hormone. Their levels of anxiety, stress, fatigue, and depression also dropped considerably. So now let's have a look at our keywords once again. There was a 3-month yoga program, and after that findings showed a significant reduction in their levels of cortisol, which is the primary stress hormone. Now let's compare these information with the statements, with our statements here. The first one, the importance of yoga in decreasing the main hormone linked to stress. Alright, so the word decreasing actually can replace the word reduction. A significant reduction in their levels of cortisol, which is the primary stress hormone. So cortisol is considered to be the primary stress hormone. Here it says the importance of yoga in decreasing the main hormone linked to stress. That's actually the correct answer here. So the statement number 1 is answer C, which is Andreas Mikkelsen. Now, next name we found in the text was Caroline Smith. Caroline Smith is here, but let's read the statement from the sentence from the beginning. A comparable study was carried out in 2007 at the University of South Australia by researcher Caroline Smith. In this case, comparing the effect of yoga and relaxation on stress and anxiety. Smith worked with 131 people over a period of 10 weeks, showed similar results. In addition, yoga did appear to provide a comparable improvement in stress, anxiety, and health status compared to relaxation. Alright, now let's compare the information with the statement. Number 2, with the advantage of yoga compared to relaxation in decreasing stress and anxiety. So here this statement is about the advantage of yoga compared to relaxation and in decreasing stress and anxiety. Here we have in the information we have just checked in the text. It was about comparing the effect of yoga and relaxation on stress and anxiety, and the result was that in addition, yoga did appear to provide a comparable improvement in stress. So this is the advantage of yoga. It provides comparable improvement in stress and anxiety and health status compared to relaxation. So here you can see how the information was paraphrased in the text, and that is the correct answer. For Caroline Smith, it's number 2. Next name is here, which is Vijay Bharshankar. Let's take a look at the whole statement here. The results were encouraging, with Vijay Bharshankar reporting that participants over 40 years of age who practiced yoga for 5 years had a lower blood pressure and pulse rate than those who didn't. Number 3, the significance of yoga in relation to existing cases of heart disease. So the information about this name, which is Vijay Bharshankar, doesn't give us any information about heart disease. There's nothing about heart disease. Now let's have a look at number 4. The connection between practicing yoga and improvements in the circulatory system. So this is about the connection between practicing yoga and improvements in the circulatory system. So let's compare this information with the statement. Let's have a look at the information in the text once again. The results were encouraging, with Vijay Bharshankar reporting that participants over 40 years of age who practiced yoga for 5 years had a lower blood pressure and pulse rate than those who didn't. So the information actually matches to the information in the statements, because this is about the circulatory system, and here the text reminds us about lower blood pressure and pulse rate. You know, the circulatory system is a part in our body which circulates the blood. So this obviously the answer for number 4 is this name, which is Vijay Bharshankar. It was D right there. So the answers are in order to the question. That's why I'm going to reveal the answers in the very end, just to hide the answer 3. I'm writing the answer myself on the screen. We will see the correct answers on the page later. Now the last name we have here is Dr. J. Yogendra. Let's have a look at the information about this name. I think we should start from here. Other research suggests that making a yoga part of a healthy lifestyle can actually help to slow the progression of heart disease. So we saw earlier there was information about heart disease, existing cases of heart disease, but let's keep reading. A study on 113 patients with heart disease conducted. So these heart disease was conducted by Dr. Yogendra of the Yoga Institute, Santa Cruz, Mumbai. Looked at the effects of a lifestyle that included 1 year of yoga training combined with dietary modifications and stress management. The encouraging results showed an average decrease in cholesterol of 23% and the progression of heart disease stopped in 47% of patients. So here is the actual information. The progression of heart disease stopped in 47% of patients. While it was unclear how much of a role yoga had versus other factors like diet, yoga was shown to reduce stress, which is one of the major contributors to heart disease. So that's it, that's the answer, that's how the information was paraphrased in the statement. The significance of yoga in relation to existing cases of heart disease, that's the correct answer. Now we can reveal all the answers. Number 3 is B and number 4 is D. Alright everyone, this is how I usually deal with the matching name questions. I hope the things, the techniques and the information you've seen today in our lesson was useful for you. In the next lessons I will come again with some other types of reading questions, and I'll teach you my own techniques how to deal with different types of questions. I'll see you again. Goodbye.